there will be hell to pay if the hostages are not released before January 20th. What does that mean?
Well, they're going to have to determine what that means. But it means it won't be pleasant.
Mr. President,
it won't be pleasant. So Donald Trump started off, obviously, if you guys could not hear the question, the reporter asked, so as far as your situation with what you say is going to happen with Gaza, we know that ongoing massacre that's going on there. He said it won't be pleasant. I made the threat a long time ago. It won't be pleasant. So he actually expanded on that a little bit more, because afterwards he was asked then about a couple of these leaders that he's following behind, one being obviously here, Bibi Netanyahu, but also Vladimir Putin. The question, because it was too quiet, I cut that off. The question as he goes in this next clip is, have you spoken with Putin? And what was your conversation with Netanyahu? Let's go to that.
Well, I'm not going to comment on the Putin question, but I will comment on Bibi. We had a very good talk. We discussed what is going to happen, and I'll be very available on January 20th, and we'll see. As you know, I gave warning that if these hostages aren't back home by that date, all hell's going to break out. And
he doesn't want to say much about having even a conversation with Vladimir Putin. As we already saw before, Bob Woodward released saying that he had spoken with him, and he's been having multiple conversations with Vladimir Putin while he's out of office. So Maz, just on these first couple of things, because of course we're talking straight to the foreign policy process of what he's looking to implement, specifically with these conflicts here, Ukraine, Russia, but more specifically that he was very eager to talk about. Very strong, very strong. I'm coming after what's happening in Gaza, as if what's happening in Gaza is weak from the people who are supporting this massacre. I want your first thoughts on this, though.
Well, Jayar, I actually, once he won the election, I really kind of tuned out from a lot of stuff. And I'll tell you why, because it's like, you guys chose this. This is what you wanted. This is what you're going to get. I mean, I can't do, what am I, as an individual, all of us, I think, and many of us felt, how am I going to change anything that's going on in the world when it comes to what you guys have chosen now? And then you're seeing the results of what you chose, because what he did that he was brilliant at during the election was he convinced the Palestinians that he cared for them when he went to Detroit and had those, those Muslims there. And then he convinced the Israelis and the Jews he cared for them. And the truth is that he doesn't really care for anybody. I mean, he's a narcissist. And so when you get answers like this, where he goes, it's going to be, hell to pay, and it's going to be even worse and worse. To your point, it's already, Gaza right now, the Gazans and the Palestinians are suffering, and they've killed tens of thousands of them. So it's like, what else? I don't know what else he's planning on doing. And the truth is that he is, a lot of his supporters before would always point to the idea of like, well, he never started any wars. He doesn't want wars and all that. Mm-hmm. Again, it's all mumbo jumbo, because the truth is that he'll just go in the direction that, wherever the money leads him, wherever these BB types and the Putin types lead him, he'll just go wherever that goes. So all of that to say, I really don't know where we're headed. But it's not a good place. It's not a good place, and people voted for this. So I'm sorry, but you voted for it. Muslims voted for this guy. Latinos voted for this guy, and other people who thought that there's going to be some sort of resolution to the Middle East conflict voted for this guy.
Do you think so? Did they think there's gonna be a resolution with Middle East? Because again, he was talking specifically about how it's gonna make it worse from the beginning, as if it's, so there's two prongs, I think, in what Donald Trump's approach has been. It's image, which again is why he keeps talking about how strong it is, completely ignoring the fact that his version of strong is exactly what we've been doing as far as supplying this approach. But also then it's about making sure everyone knows that he's gonna do this a different way. But in order for people to believe that, they have to not really understand what has been happening, or really what it is that he says he's gonna do to make those things happen.
Members make a difference here at TYT. You help make the show happen, and we see you in the chat with your loyalty badge. Click the join button to become a member today.